Hello, everyone, and I welcome to the session Science of Meditation. So, as I said before, I'm based in Singapore, and I'm aware from the organizing team that we have participants from different countries and time zones. So, I thank you, everyone, for taking time to be here. And thank you to the Logom team and ASMET for inviting and having me here. I'm super excited to be here and talking to this very knowledgeable audience of healthcare professionals. So meditation is a very essential element in our daily busy lives. So we will see why is that and how to access this science and how we can distill most out of it. Having said that, 45 minutes time is definitely not enough for us to deep dive into this meditation or deep sea. But let's see how much we can get to know about it and how much conviction we can take back and put into practice. And basically how much we can distill out of it. So before getting into this actual series, let's do a quick experiment for 30 seconds. 30 seconds of thought freeness. So I want you all to just close your eyes and try to be thought-free for next 30 seconds. So let's, if you're comfortable, you can switch on the video. And then I'm going to close my eyes and let's be thought-free for next 30 seconds. Time's up. So how was that? My first question is, was it possible for you to kind of control your thought and be thought-free? So I would like to hear your perspectives, just 2 or 3 participants to quickly share how was it like. Feel free to unmute and speak up.
It was very difficult.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
For 30 seconds, it was okay.
Okay. Maybe you're on the advanced stage. And for people like me,
Yes.
it's very difficult.
Yes, I managed to zone quite nicely, but then I feel a bit as if I've been doing this for a long, long time. So I can just go straight into it. So I'm a bit of a cheat on that one. So I could do it, yes.
Okay. Then probably I should increase the cutoff to you about 2 minutes and see if that's possible. I'm sure that's not going to be possible because all know the mind is, the brain is very active and we get thousands and thousands of thoughts per day, right? This is very natural. This is how the system has been designed. And there has been several research done on this area. And this paper that was published in 2020, 2 years before, that I find very relevant and rational as well. So an average human develops about 6.5 thoughts per minute. So we have short thoughts, we have long thoughts, we have like, depends on case to case, but on average, we have about 6.5 thoughts per minute. And that compounds to 18 hours of waking hours, which is pretty common for all of us, 6 hours of sleeping time. And I'm sure even during sleeping, we think about something. Our subconscious is even active. So we don't count that. But in our waking hours, we develop about 7,000 thoughts per day, which is too much, right? Means our brain is always kind of exhausted. And the nature of the mind is flickering. So as we just experimented, controlling the thoughts is very difficult. So what can be done is we can acknowledge those thoughts, but doesn't have to react to those thoughts. So the action is the thought. The reaction is how we react to the thoughts. We have the control over how we react to those thoughts. And meditation is an excellent technique, one of those techniques where we can easily and practically apply to control thought flows. Okay. So since I'm aware that we are from different countries and geographies, I would like to just understand your perspectives about how do you define meditation and why you chose to be part of the session. You can feel free to unmute and speak up.
Well, meditation for me at least is something that gives me time out of my daily routine or things that I keep thinking about. Just maybe 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I close my eyes and I think about just myself, or I think about just the breath that I'm taking.
Okay, thank you. So you're consciously taking out time, like at least 5 minutes a day, to reflect on your day and reflect on your breath and focus on the breath. That is definitely helpful, and it's coming under meditation. Any other brave souls who can speak up and share their experiences for these two?
Yes, I can say meditation for me is an active mindfulness. And when I say active, it means I focus on just my breathing. And it's almost whatever is coming up, I step back and just allow the breathing, and it just clears my mind completely. And I'd say it is absolutely vital to know and how to do the breath work, because it is so about acknowledging perhaps thoughts and feelings, accepting them for as they are, but not necessarily learning. Takes time and practice not to step in. And that's really powerful, because there's always a choice. And that's the pause that you allow yourself. So you can kind of bend time and freeze time for a little bit.
Thank you for the detailed experience sharing. So I'm sure you have been doing meditation for some time, but I would like to understand why you chose to attend the session. Any particular purpose or intent, ma'am, so that I can address those during my session?
I think that's my
Oh, bless. No, bless you. No, not at all. I was invited because I'm passionate about sharing and understanding and learning from other people as well. You're always learning and evolving. And I'm passionate about really helping, I guess, medical students particularly in how to navigate not just the medical school years, the early training years, because it's tough. It's really tough on the other side. It really, really is. And I've been doing this. I've been in medicine for, well, it's 30 years now. So I also know what burnout feels like. So I want to sort of hand over my skills, my knowledge to the next generation. And I was very kindly invited onto this. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to see and just sort of take it all on board and learn some more.
Thank you, doctor. I'm very happy to have you in this call so that we all can learn each other. So let's get into the session. So meditation has been defined by so many people in so many ways, but this is how that connects to me. Probably it's like a conscious unplugging from the external world, which is very active and constantly plugging. So we need to unplug from a different dimension and plug into a different dimension. So it's like unplugging from the external world and plugging into a deeper dimension. And we can possibly do that through breath, focusing on the breath. Breath is the fundamental diversion of focus that we can do easily, and that kind of quietens the internal chatter. And the very rude example that I can think of, it's like a mobile phone we use daily. On the daytime, we use it like several hours. It constantly discharges the battery, it becomes dead, and we take time to recharge, right? So the meditation, it's like the recharge of the human body, recharge of the human mind, And this is very essential, where most people miss this recharging of body. They think that sleep alone can be a good recharge, but we will see in one of the research experiments that during sleep, the brain and mind is very active. So it is not actual rest, but tools like meditation could be an actual food for the soul. And as I said, it's full of activity around. Internally, we develop about 7,000 thoughts, and externally, we have millions of people who have developed like millions times 7,000. So it's too much of activity around. So it's essential to keep ourselves in control and to balance the unbalance of external, especially our mind, that develop those thoughts. Meditation could be an important tool. And meditation also gives you a sense of calm and balance. So the moment you close your eyes and focus on something, you try to unplug from several activities and plug onto one thing. So you become naturally calmer and become more focused. And we will see in one of those research experiments later that how meditation can positively influence the body at a molecular level, the molecular level of water that we all are made up of. And this helps to cultivate the very essential feelings of lives like peacefulness, relaxation, and contentment. So most people, if we ask ourselves the serious question, am I contented about my life? The 99.99% of the answer is not. Even though we say we are contented, we are happy, but we are always going after something. We are not happy and contented with what we have now. So meditation are the tools which instills to develop those feelings, positive feelings, and that's are essential. And why this is very practical, because we can sit, close our eyes, and within 10 minutes of time, we can recharge this battery. The phone needs a couple of hours to recharge, but tools like this can help us recharge in a couple of minutes. And meditation benefits has been widely known to this world, widely published to this world, because of the two very important technologies, functional magnetic resonance imaging and electroencephalography. So those two devices measures the brain activities. They kind of track the electrical signals that happening in the brain when we engage in some activity. And these two technologies help us to understand the scientific results that has been shown about meditation. So as I said, like everything is highly entropy. So entropy, for some people who's not aware of this term, I'm coming from the mechanical engineering background, I use this term often. So entropy is basically a physical system of randomness, uncertainty, so on and so forth. So we will see a couple of very authoritative publishers from top universities across globe, and what are the benefits that they are talking about. Firstly, benefits preserves the aging of the brain. So this study from UCLA shows that an average of 20 years of meditation shows a significant increase of gray matter volume. So as we age, the gray matter volume goes down. This is the natural biological process. But if we follow processes like meditation, there is an inverse reaction to it. So it means the gray matter volume tends to grow bigger than growing smaller, which is the natural process. And the author, when they begin this process, right, they didn't have much of expectation, but this was the line from the author. We expected other small and distant effects located in some of the regions. Instead, what we actually observed was widespread effect of meditation that encompasses throughout the entire brain. So that was the conclusion of the author. And the second paper talks about how meditation can be a natural antidepressant for depression and anxiety. So if we are stressful and very depressed about something, the immediate go-to is taking some antidepressants, which has the medical effect of about 0.3. I'm not sure about the unit, but they show in medical terms, they show it's 0.3. And tools like meditation has a natural effect, the same effect as 0.3. If natural tools like meditation can do that, we don't need an antidepressant. The chemicals to be put inside the body, and the body has to kind of change into a reaction. And the third benefit is volume changes in key areas of the brain. So this paper was from Harvard, and the researcher and the professor was Sarah Lazar and the team. They proved that there is a decrease in cell volume in the amygdala, which is in the central portion of the brain, which is responsible for fear, the negative feelings like fear, anxiety, and stress. And I was told that couple of the participants from this group also take this 8-week course, mindful based stress reduction. We will get their feedback on how that helps in their lives maybe later. But this article addresses the 8-week of mindfulness based stress reduction that increases the cortical thickness in the hippocampus, which governs learning, memory, emotional regulation, and cognition. So while I was growing, right, I used to wonder. So when I was doing my schooling, I used to kind of keep memory of at least 100 contact numbers of my relatives. But if I check today, right, most people, like, it's a very rude example, but we all can connect to, I guess. But today, if we kind of lost our phone and if we are in the middle of nowhere, it's very hard for us to recall a number and call somebody. Because the technology is so user friendly, we kind of naturally lose this interest to memorize and things like that. So meditation helps to improve our memory capacity, emotional regulation, which is very important. Most people, in my view at least, they do certain inefficient work because they lack this control over emotional fluctuations. And meditation also reduces activity in the brain's me center. So this brain's me center is very curious to me. It is also called monkey mind. In medical terms, it's called default mode network. So basically, it's a series of thought flows that are depressing to us. Either we are in the past or we are in the future, and we miss the present bus. And that is about the me center. And meditation helps to reduce those two past and future thoughts, but helps us to keep in the present. And this image was very relevant and cool as well. So our brain does not contain a fixed hardwiring. The neural pathways and circuits can be changed with learning and with meditation. That encourages the growth of new neurons, which is neurogenesis, along with the formation of new connections between the existing neurons, which is synaptogenesis. So the key takeaway from the couple of researchers that we saw is that it helps with the aging of the brain. It is a natural antidepressant, and it helps to increase a certain volume of a brain that's helpful and reduces the glands like amygdala, which is responsible for fear, anxiety, and stress. And me center, the monkey mind. Most people experience the monkey mind at certain times of their day, and whenever we feel the monkey mind is on, what we need to do is just control the monkey mind through meditation for 10 minutes or so. And how do we tackle this DNM, default mode network? Is to activate the task passive network that's in the same part of the brain. So the TPM is activated when we are actively paying attention and focusing on tasks in the present. So how we cut off the thought flow of past or in the future is by controlling the thoughts in the present. So when that focus and attention we bring back to the present, what naturally it happens is the TPM network of the body, of the brain, is activated. And meditation has been proven to activate TPM to get our thoughts and controls and attention back to the present. And biologically and scientifically, either one can be on at a time, either DMN or TPM. So the moment, of course, everyone faces DMN. When I am at work, suddenly my mind goes into past, about things about a past event, or my mind goes about a forecast and thinks about this is what I want. And doing this, I'm missing the present. So the moment I acknowledge the DMN is on, I need to turn on the TPN through meditation. So these are another couple of scientific researches that shows different other benefits, especially with addictions. So this paper shows that the meditation has proved to decouple the state of carving and help several people came out of addictions. And this paper particularly talks about someone who's smoking for a very long time, and this helped them to come out of addictions. And again, as we saw, it improves the concentration and attention. And this was helpful because GRE is a graduate recorded exam. It's a very competitive exam that we need to take when we apply for US colleges for engineering. And they show that meditation helps them to improve their performances, even in the competitive exams. And meditation also helps to reduce our social anxiety that we have, especially after this COVID, when we are all working from home. When we go out, we have a natural social anxiety. But things like meditation, it develops a positive feeling of empathy and relief from social anxiety. And from this paper, 90 cancer patients has been studied and for 7 weeks, and they show significant less depression, anxiety, and other, they have a natural higher energy. So people who have cancer, even though medically we can support at the max as possible, they have a natural feeling of depression between them. Oh, I'm not sure how long will I be there. So they have a natural fear in them, but tools like meditation can help them to come up and be normal and behave normal. And in this journal, stroke, 11% of the decrease in the risk of heart attack, and up to 15% decrease in the risk of stroke. And it's through meditation. And this paper was interesting. I'll just spend 30 seconds to explain this. So this paper, the target audience was 300 volunteers, and they have been observed for 9 months. So they divide into 3 categories. First is the mindful meditation. Second one was compassion-based meditation. What did they do? Basically, it's through emotional connection via loving kind meditation. Basically, it's like dividing into 2 teams and helping one to share their thoughts and etc. without any conditions, like non-judgmental problem sharing sessions with partners. Through this, they break the barrier of insecurity and so on and so forth. It's like loving kindness meditation. And the third group was about perspective taking meditation. So there were several people, they're thinking about the same problem. So the different perspectives on the same problem is to be considered as one of the meditations, very unnatural form of meditations. And they showed that increased thickness in the prefrontal cortex, and that helps with the attention control for the mindfulness meditation. And the second one, the compassion-based one, effects in increase in limbic system, which processes emotions and some medical terms, basically into conscious awareness, talks about the awareness part. And perspective taking helps into the theory of mind. So people can be inspired by hearing others, people can think more. So the theory of mind aspect of the body is improved. And when we talk about science of meditation, what are the brain chemicals that's responsible for enacting this? These are a couple of brain chemicals. And we will talk about this a bit more later. So when we talk about meditation, so we have covered what is meditation, why is meditation, but what is the practical aspects of it? So pranayama is a very well-known, Dr. Nupur as well shared that she focuses on breath. Prana, yama. Prana means breath and yama means to have control. So we have widely 5 different varieties of pranayama. Anulom Vinulom pranayama, which is alternative nostril breathing. I take in at one nostril, I breathe out at another nostril. Brahmari pranayama is basically, if you close your, we have time, we'll do this, but I don't think we have time. So basically, it's like closing the ears and we do the humming sound. And the moment you do this, you feel a natural vibration in the body. The sound enacted by the bumbling that we do, the mimic that we do, creates a certain vibration in the body, which is considered to be one of the effective meditation. And Ujjayi pranayama is basically victorious breath. Basically, it's closing eyes, sit straight. While we breathe in and out, we create a sound from the vocal cord. It's like the humming from the vocal. Also the nostril breathing. This is considered to be victorious breath. And the Kapalbhati pranayama is basically slow inhalation, passive inhalation, and forceful exhalation. And this is considered to be one of the effective when we are stressful, like forceful exhalation. We throw out of that negative emotion from us. And Bhastrika Pranayama is basically we are heating the system through this Bhastrika Pranayama. Basically, it's like filling in the entire body with the fresh air, and we are just breathing out the entire body, breathing out the air from the entire body. And when we do this for a couple of minutes, our body becomes hot, and that is effective form of meditation as well. As we eat food every day, and this body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So air, the prana from outside is one of the best nutritious food for the body and mind. So the moment we consciously eat the air through meditation, pranayama, it is also one of the most nutritious food. And we have mudras basically to have the prana better regulate in the body. And if we see any Buddha, right, so either he'll show chin mudra or he'll show this chakral mudra like this. So basically these are nerves that has been placed in a way that controls the prana in the body in a very favorable way. Any guesses on what this instrument is? Since we have 2-3 minutes, I'll wrap this up. Any guesses? Some girl is blowing something inside some machine which has some beautiful designs. Any thoughts?
Anish, you can arrow someone. Or Henry, maybe you can take a guess. Yes.
I don't know the exact term for it, but I do think it's one of those devices where it has that high frequency vibration, because the pattern, it's the sand, isn't it, that goes into the superimposed places. I don't know what it's called.
Thanks, Henry. This is not very usual in all medical schools and stuff. This is called tonoscope. Basically, tone scope. Scope is an instrument. Tone is anything that receives sound and functions with the help of sound. So this device receives the sound and transfers into a visual representation of the sound. Very interesting, right? So a Dr. Hans, who's into the field of sematics, basically sematics is a study of interrelationship between energy and matter. So he used this system, tonoscope, and what he experimented was he blowed a form of sound into the tonoscope and observed something. And then since he's from this, he's curious about this aspect of science of meditation, he did Om. And then Om, when he blowed that air, it forms into a perfect symmetrical shape. It's like a perfect chakras, to be very technical, but it shows a very perfect symmetrical rectangles, circles, and these geometries are very, very significant when we go into the religious aspect of it, but we are not going there. But he found that the Om sound has a significant power to it, gravity to it. And so this is about sound and meditation. So the sound can also be very important tool for us to focus on something, focus on the present. And here's another researcher from Japan. He took a sample of water from the nearby dam and he kind of force crystallize it. So basically he performed force crystallization with several parameters. As we all know, our body is made up of 70% or more water. And what thoughts and what kind of what emotions and thoughts we have reflects on the water molecules of the body. So his research shows that this is the initial part before he does anything. This is how the scanning electron microscopy of that water looks, if I'm not wrong. And when he freeze crystallize after a heavy metal music, like a negative words like you make me sick, I will kill you. So those are negative vibrations. So it's not just the sound, but it's also the intent while we saying it. So that when it has been absorbed by the water and they force crystallize and see, it's a very shattered, dirty water. And the moment he started to share positive words like thank you, love, and appreciation, so the word has an emotion in the body and mind. So when we say that, those gives a beautiful effect of it. And he proved that Sanskrit mantras, so basically it's a mantra meditation comes under sounded meditation. So when he uttered mantras like Om, into the stethoscope, he found beautiful results. So the conclusion of this is sound along with thoughts effect on the molecular structure of the water. So what we think is very important in terms of what we are made of. So another 1 minute of quick research sharing. This is again another mantra meditation. So schizophrenia, we all know, is a long-term chronic disease, which doesn't have as of today a permanent cure. But what we can do is a treatment that could be a lifelong journey as well. So this Dr. Vivek Baluja from Detroit, what he did was he performed mantra meditation. Basically, he performed a particular mantra, chosen particular mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and he used this magnetoencephalography instrument for the mapping of brain activity. So he did 2 tests. The first test is when the subject is in the rest state, when he's in the sleeping state, and he captured the brain images. And the second test he took after the subject wake up and chanted 30 minutes of mantra. And he found a significant difference between those two. And then the outcome of the paper is that actually through meditation, you can calm down the brain of a schizophrenia patient. So this is the first brain images that they took during the rest state. So if you can see, these red dots and green dots are the thought flows during the rest state, which is in the sleep state. And this image, which has a relatively less thoughts after being chanted for about 30 minutes. So he showed that even though we are sleeping, we are not actually, our brain is still active, ruminating the thoughts in the brain. But after performing a sounded meditation, it has a much calming effect compared. So it's time for guided meditation. But before that, so 3 aspects are very important when we get into meditation. First is thoughts. So thoughts, the nature of thoughts is to come and go. So we don't act on it, we just acknowledge and be in the present. We be in the TPN state and not in the DMN state. And awareness, so we have to be aware about what's happening in the body. When I intake breath, so I have to be personally be with the breath. And when I exhale breath, I have to be personally be. So the awareness aspect has to be there, and the breath is very important. So when we are conscious about these 3, the effectiveness could be realized. So the first form is the Sama Vritti Pranayama. This is about guided meditation. So Sama means equal, Vritti means interval, and Pranayama is breathing. So basically, we choose probably 3 seconds or 4 seconds or 5 seconds. The first step is we inhale through the one nostril. We keep the breath inside for 4 seconds, and then we exhale for 4 seconds, and then we keep that air outside for 4 seconds. So this is a box breathing. And about the one-liner preparation is we straight, close the eyes, face, put our face slightly upward so that our natural focus comes into the center of the eyebrows. And then we do it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or how much time that works for you. And after all, the key to meditation is being present and to enjoy the experience. And that's how you kind of relish the process. So let's do this for 5 minutes. So I want you to all close the eyes, try to sit straight. And since we have beginners also in the call, let's keep a 3 seconds, the inhale and exhale. So we are closing the eyes, sitting straight, facing us face slightly upwards. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Keep, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3. Continue the process for next couple of minutes. Relax. Keep your eyes closed. You can gently open the eyes. Hope you had some kind of calming. Feel free to try this at home whenever you feel stressed. This is a very helpful. I find this very helpful. Samavriti Pranayama. So the next guided meditation we're entering is to the very famous, secular, very friendly, sounded meditation, Om. So the way how we do it is the same way. Close our eyes, sit straight, and focus on the sound. Or only focus. So this is basically our enacting the TPN to be on. So when we are focusing on something present, we develop this habit of being present all the time, and we are not either in the past or future. And especially the sound Om has a very powerful effect to our body. So I'll be chanting Om. You all will be rechanting in mute mode, so we don't have a echo chaos. So let's do this for another 2-3 minutes. Close our eyes, sit straight, take a deep breath in. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Last 2 times. Deep breath. Deep breath. Relax. keep your eyes closed. Observe your breath inside. Gently open the eyes. So that was Om meditation. And the objective of this is to reflect on what we heard and put into practice. Because knowledge without application is pointless. So today's overall agenda is for us to get to know about meditation better, for us to get conviction that these are scientific evidences on meditation that helps us longer, sustainably, and we get to know a few techniques that we can practically apply in our daily life, and we put it into practice and see how it turns out. I'm sure Lagom is planning some sustainable series of meditative programs. So you be with them and help to grow this culture of meditation stronger. So finally, meditation is not a process, it's a quality. So meditation, so we cannot do meditation, but we can become meditative. So meditation is not a process that we do. So we do certain process to become the quality of being meditative. And with that said, I'm happy to take a few questions if we have, and then that's about it. Thank you for patiently hearing. Let's see if there's any discussion.
Okay, let me unmute myself and say while you guys are thinking of your questions, thank you, Anish, for this wonderful lecture plus guided meditation. I wish we had more time, but it's a Sunday night and we wanted to make this very short. So as Anish had said, this is just an intro. And secondly, I just want to highlight to you guys that Anish does not come from a medical background. He went out on a limb, did all this medical research for us, showed us those beautiful scans of the CT, fMRI, EEG, and I think he did a brilliant job. So virtual applause for Anish. Thank you so much for doing this. And another thing that I wanted to add is, I think some of us here are above 25 years old. And why I say that is 25 is the age where neuroplasticity basically stops in your brain, right? So, which means learning is harder. We see a lot of things in clinic. We have many exams and licenses to prepare for. So you can feel your quality of your brain deteriorating as you go through life. Not only that, the pandemic has been hard, right? Let's be honest. It's been exhausting. You have more anxiety, more stress, and that's just a part of life. So how can we do that? How can we supplement our brains without taking drugs? Or even if you are coping in other ways, whether it's social support, whether, I don't want to say substance, I don't want to point fingers here, no, I'm kidding. But we have different ways to sort of cope with all the stress and anxiety, and meditation is just a beautiful non-drug, non-therapy, literally any time of the day, any place, you can just fit it into your schedule. And that is what we hope to share with you guys with this two really small habits. So yeah, thank you, Anish, for doing that. There's many people in the group who are expert meditators, who are beginners at various different stages. So I would invite you guys, maybe a Kanch, if you wanted to share your experience and your wisdom on meditation, yeah, that would be great.
First of all, thanks a lot, Anish sir, for this amazing guided meditation session. And it is really amazing. And meditation is something that, as Anish sir said, it's a quality that we need to become. So yes, we have to become meditative. It's very important for us. Now, there are 2-3 examples that I can give, as Anish sir gave different examples of the scientific experiments. I think many of us know Nikola Tesla, right? The great scientist. He mentioned it once that everything in the universe can be translated into energies, and frequencies, right? And if we see in today's world, there are a lot of theories out there as to origin of universes. I guess am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, you're
So
back.
there is one theory which is going on in the world, that is string theory, which says everything in the world is originating from certain kind of vibrations. That vibrations change themselves and make into sound, and sound ultimately forms the matter. And this is what we have been doing with guided meditation, isn't it so? So this is my utter belief and my suggestion, that all of us shall practice meditation once in our life, become meditative, and reap the fruits of what great things are there in store for us when we become meditative. So thanks a lot for this session, and I hope that all of us try to be meditative at some part of our life. Thanks a lot.
Guys, any questions? Or there is the feedback form. I would request that all of you just like keep the tab open, because mostly we forget, and we really need this feedback from you guys on how this went. Like, would this be a session that you would want to continue? How do you, or maybe like if anyone wants to share, like if they've been trying to meditate and they found difficulties, maybe, you know, Anish can address like how you can have micro habits. Don't be shy, guys. We're basically friends now.
Absolutely. We'd ask questions, and as she said, you can share any difficulties that you face. I'm not an expert, but I can see how I can address that if I face that. Feel free to speak up.
I just want to say thank you so much, Anish, for your presentation. I think you have to put a lot of effort to show us the science, and I found it very interesting. So in terms of the question, I've been practicing meditations on and off. And so you mentioned about being, you know, the first exercise we were trying to be thought free. So do you think, like, if we practice meditation every day, it is possible to have that, like, be completely free of thoughts? Or is meditation more about having the thoughts but having the upper hand over those thoughts, like you have more control over them? So what do you think? Because I find it very difficult to completely get rid of thoughts. If I think about it, I at least try to think of how I can not think. So there's always some thought. So that's my difficulty. But again, thank you so much. Your presentation was very, very good. I'm glad there's a recording, because one of my friends is, I think Vaish mentioned, you know, with our age, sometimes we tend to do a little, some habits which are not so good to relieve stress. So one of my friends is sort of in that phase in life now, and he wants to transfer to healthier habits. So I want to share this with him. So thank you again.
Thank you for the question. I'm 25, so I can absolutely connect to what you're sharing. So you gave the question and you gave the answer subtly. So controlling thoughts is good, but thought-free is a state which is very, very far, and it's not very practical for the audiences, busy audiences like us. So thought-free is not objective, is not the objective, but are we reacting to those thoughts is the objective, is the thing that's in our control. So when we say we have control over our thoughts, means that we have the control over the reaction to those thoughts. So the brain, before we get into meditation, the brain has already accumulated so much of information on that day. So it has to process. The moment we put in the food inside the body, the digestion process starts. Likewise, it's very natural that the mind keeps thinking about the thoughts that's been stored there. So when we do meditation, we don't focus on those thoughts, but the thoughts can come and flow. That's the nature of the brain that has a lot of thoughts in it, but we don't act on it. We just be in the present. So as I said, thoughts are due to past accumulations, but we are present with the breath. So we don't act on it, but we just avoid it for a temporary time. And thought-free is a state that's not possible, at least for us now, but it's a long journey ahead. But consistency is the key. Don't lose hope. You just practice the process. You will be hitting there. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. That's a great answer.
Can I just say something? Anish, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. And I've actually put some comments anyway. It doesn't really matter whether you've never done this before or you've been doing it for donkey's years. Always approach this with a beginner's mind, because you come away with something new, something different. So for me, you know, connecting in with the frequencies and the vibrations today, and how you described the different breathing styles and the different sections, that was just gorgeous. So I think the more everybody understands, you know, this is a way of being. It's not doing, it's being, because the world and your lives are so busy. And forgive me, because I'm probably double the age of a lot of the people here. So it's about allowing yourself, give permission to yourself to value your own needs. And what I mean by that is this practice, which is easy, which is simple, there's no drugs, there's no side effects. It's being in a conscious awareness and expanding your awareness that, you know what, all these thoughts, all these sort of busy, I have to do, which is it's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with that. But allowing yourself to recognize that and take a step back and use what Anish has been beautifully describing. It's easy. It's not easy, but you train. It's like a muscle. You train, you practice, you train, you practice. And it's okay if your mind wanders whilst you do it. It's no big deal. You can bring it back on the breath. The fact that you're thinking, the fact that you are recognizing, okay, I need to do that now. That is the most important thing. And I can't stress how important this is for everybody, be it a healthcare professional, be it a student, be it a mum, be it anybody. And it's applicable to anybody. I teach this to children. So, you know what? If there's one thing I would say take away from today is pause, and you can rebalance yourself at a drop of a hat. And that is really, really powerful. It really, truly is. And it can make all the difference of spinning out of control and just sort of being so overwhelmed. It's like a fight, fly, freeze, which is the amygdala response. You can take control back because you have that power. And I just wanted to say that. But thank you so much, Anish. That was really, really beautiful. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Beautiful answer.
Oh.
Any other final questions? We are running out of 4 minutes, but let's see if we have any other questions.
Maybe I'm also going to take this time. I see 6 of you. I love you guys who have already submitted the feedback form. Everybody else, it's in the chat. Another thing that I've dropped is a meditation server on Discord. So like you guys heard, like we have amazing doctors and healthcare students, professionals on board, like Ikanch, who are expert at meditation, right? Because I fall asleep during meditation. So how do we have accountability partners while we're doing this? So we have this Discord server. You can definitely tune in and, you know, we can do this together. You're not alone in this journey. So please join. And also feedback form, don't forget. Another thing I want to highlight is that we've have a lot of signups. We had like 77 signups and people from various different countries. And I just want to highlight one in particular, which is Sri Lanka. As you guys all know, the political situation in Sri Lanka is super tense. And so I just want to thank those of us who are streaming in from Sri Lanka for putting in this additional effort. They have like limited data and they're using that for us. So I'm super honored that you guys are here and that you have chosen to invest this data on such an important meditative practice. So I'm going to arrow on you, Rashmi. And maybe you want to share with us, like, if you meditate and do you find this practices, micro habits useful?
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. And it was really amazing to hear what Anish had to share because I've never done meditation before and I've always wanted to try meditation. Vaish has always been, behind me, telling me about it. So I've been so excited. And finally, I got the opportunity to join one of these sessions. So thank you so much for the amazing lecture you gave today. Yeah, I think the tips are really good because I think the past few days I was quite anxious, considering the situations that's going on. And the 2-3 minutes that we were doing the meditation, it really helped me, realize, get back to my senses again. So I think I could just continue what I've learned today and maybe build on it because this is just the start for me. So perhaps I can learn more in this journey. And thank you, Vaish, also for inviting me today. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Yes, and Dr. Nupi has dropped her LinkedIn. Please connect with her. Anybody else? There's Anish's email, I think, also in his very first slide. So you can definitely connect with him. Or there's AceMed and Lagom's Insta. Please follow us. I think we are sort of done with it today. Everyone seems like they're ready for bed after a calming meditation session. Can I get everyone to turn on your camera so we can take a picture together? I don't know why there are birds at this time of the night in Singapore. I have no idea what they're doing, but they shall be the background music for this picture. I'm sorry. All right. Okay, I think the rest of us are shy to turn on your cameras, but it's fine. She'll take a picture. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, now I'm going to request you guys for the next picture to give a pose, a meditative pose. So you can choose whatever meditative pose you want. You have, this is basically a test to see if you're applying. Did someone just leave the call when I said test? A meditative pose, come on. Look like you're in Zen mode. All right. I think this is the best you guys can do. I don't think it's meditative enough, but by the end of our meditation series, I'm sure you guys will nail it. So thank you for coming today. If you have like anything you want to talk about, please stay back on the call. We're here to talk to you. Always happy to make new friends. And for the rest, good night.
And again, thank you for being an excellent audience. Thank you for patiently hearing me. And thank you. Have a great week ahead. Bye-bye. Continue the meditation, become meditative.
Nice parting words. All right, I'm going to start.